Heyo, I'm Tits,
Hello, I'm Areolas.
and today we're reviewing Barbie. What's your
Barbie.
first exposure to Barbie ever as a
Ever?
concept? Yes.
Just growing up, they were everywhere. Barbies. They were the thing. I feel like Barbie's been around forever
Did
since the
you
beginning.
know someone who played with a Barbie,
Yeah, I'm sure my sister had Barbies.
but you never played with a Barbie yourself?
I'm sure I had like some of hers and had them play with my Power Rangers or something. I don't, or my
Okay.
Ninja Turtles, something like that.
I never played with the Barbie toy before.
Really?
I always thought that Barbies were dumb and feminine. And that's what I was not all about that when I was growing up. I was like, I want those Duplos. I want those Legos. I want those. What are those wooden blocks that you can make a cabin out of? Lincoln Logs.
The Lincoln Logs.
Yeah, I was all about that, and then also clay. So I never touched a Barbie. Also, I never really touched any of those cars, which I guess is an opposite to Barbie in in the gender toys realm. What would
Yeah,
you think is opposite?
growing up, I had like Hot Wheels with real boys. I guess GI Joe were, but I wasn't really into GI Joe. I had a lot of Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, video
Okay,
games. Yeah, that was more
video
my
games
thing.
are
But
cool.
my sister had Barbies. She had Cabbage Patch. She had
Oh,
what was the other one she had? The Trolls dolls.
oh,
Yeah, they were real weird when you look back at them. The like real weird toys.
there was a lot of different types of Barbies, but in particular, there's this Barbie movie that came out recently.
Mm-hmm.
And do you want to just jump right into it? We're in this world of Barbie. There's a bunch of Barbies and there's a bunch of Ken, and it seems like the Barbie are in charge.
Yeah, it's a matriarchy where all the women are in charge, and they're all Barbies. They're all different types of Barbies.
They got this perfect world. They got this perfect world going on. They can just party all night, and then within the day, party all day. They could relax all the time, and somehow with this beautiful, perfect, amazing life, there's still some little bit of unhappiness with one of the Barbies. She's like, "Do you guys ever think about death?" And then everyone's like, "Hey, no, what are you talking about?" And then they never think about that whatsoever. So I'm like, okay, what type of disease is infecting the Barbie land, in order for one specimen to start thinking about mortality?
Yeah, it was very strange because the way it started out, this epic thing about how Barbie dolls changed the landscape of dolls for the girls, and then yeah, just like I didn't know where it was going because everything seemed so. You look in this, it's like a real life playhouse. Everything's so bright, everything's so pink, everyone's so happy, perfect. And then, like you said, the next day, they're having a party. She's like, "You ever think about death?" And everyone stops, and then she's like, "You mean you ever think about dying to play the next song or something?" Like she recovers really quickly, and they all just kind of brush it off like never mind.
Yeah, it's weird. She starts going through some sort of transformation of becoming a real person. Did you catch the reason why? Was there a reason? Is it just happening to her suddenly?
It's because, and I guess the way when she goes to see the weird Barbie kind of explains it is that the real world person that's playing with her and is making her kind of exist in this play world is having these like intrusive thoughts of mortality and reality and you
How
know
old is this
uh
person? She's getting cellulite and flat feet. Are we talking about a 40-year-old here? Are you having a 40-year-old play with a Barbie doll? Is
well,
that
that's
what's
the
happening?
thing. Yeah, she's not sure like what's going on, so the weird Barbie tells her, well, the only way to do this is to travel to the real world and find your owner. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's logic. I don't know. I she makes
I
it
mean,
sound
we're
so
in Barbie
simple.
world, so it doesn't really. I guess it doesn't matter that much, because I mean, we're not in reality, so they can just do
Yeah.
it what the heck they want.
Yeah, it's
I
really weird.
personally, yeah, I wish it was a little bit more established before they did the go into the real world thing. Like, maybe it's established that other Barbies are going through this, but they're not talking. But there's other Barbies like going through the real world or something. I just wish it was further established within the movie.
Yeah, it's weird. They make it seem like it's something that happens often, that oh yeah, you all you got to do to fix this is go to the real world and talk to your the person who's playing with you and let them know what's up and they'll play with you right or fix things, like when her feet go flat or whatever, everybody trips out about it.
Yeah, I mean, I find it funny though. Their the reaction to
Yeah.
the real world when they first get to the real world, the most unrealistic thing I can think of. A man goes up and just starts touching her. I'm like, what? I've personally never dealt with this. I've never had just some random guy walk up to me and just start groping me. That seems really dramatic. I mean, I know it's a movie or whatever, but
Yeah.
like it really lost my immersion at this point because I was
Uh-huh.
just thinking, no, I mean, most people are respectful in the world. There are some bad apples, sure, but what's the likelihood that the first thing that you see when you go into this real world is you see a man just who is one of the bad apples?
I
I don't
could
get it.
see I could see all that like and yeah, like you said, it's exaggerated. As soon as they hit the real world of whatever it is, what is it, California that they're supposed to be in? Uh
Yes.
yeah, right, California. They're rollerblading, everyone's checking them out, even the dudes are checking out Ken and he's liking it. He just likes the attention. And
Yeah.
yeah, everybody's like catcalling her. She doesn't see really like any women uh doing
I
anything
mean,
dominant, you
yeah.
know?
I think out of my entire life, I've only been catcalled twice. One was in Philly, and I was literally wearing, almost wearing nothing. Like I had like this bodysuit, and I was wearing this neon green fishnets, but my ass was out, and
Uh-huh.
so someone was honked like 3 times while I was going back to the Airbnb to like grab something, and then that was my first experience ever with catcalling. Actually, I think that is my only experience with catcalling. It was in a densely populated area in a bad part of town. That's my only experience. Like not when I was dressed nice in Seattle in a decent part of town or Florida. Only that
Yeah,
part of Philly.
I
It's
feel like it just
catcalling is
depends.
not as common as media likes to portray it is.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things that like, like you see videos of women posting at the gym that they're being like oogled and stared at. And I think
They're
it's
controlling the narrative though.
yeah, I really
Yeah.
think nowadays it's different because
Women
they're
are
kind
so
of
paranoid, so they'll find a reason to, well, I'm gonna film this guy waiting for me to use this weight rack, and I'm gonna have some text on it say, "Look at this guy staring at me. Isn't that rude?" I'm like, "Bitch, you're using his machine. He wants to use it,
and then
motherfucker."
they're gonna
Like,
wear like
not everything's about you, lady.
the tightest tights that imaginable, and then they're gonna like rowdy squat or bend over right in front of that
Yeah, what
person,
the fuck? I just like, I literally don't get it. I mean, I get it, but I don't appreciate it, and I wouldn't do it myself personally.
Yeah,
Make specifically the video thing, making a video complaining about how a guy's ogling me. That's just cringe to me. Sorry, I got a
yeah.
little bit off tangent there. That's what the cat calling made me think of that.
No, but so she gets what, slapped on the butt or something, right? And
Rude.
Yeah, she punches him and then they go to jail.
No, why? I also bad job by the police. Why did they arrest the people who were? What you supposed to be have your butt touched?
Yeah, that's
Wouldn't
assault.
then the
That's
police just arrest you for having your butt touched? That's no. No, no,
yeah.
no, no, no. I will not accept this. This movie's reality is very unrealistic. It might happen. It's such a coincidence that all of this happened when they first got to Earth. It's like the movie is trying to say that the outside world is very scary compared to Barbie Land, which is very
Yeah.
safe.
It's trying to make a good comparison of the two where okay, the real world's actually very scary compared to this make believe world that the Barbies live in.
Yeah, it's a good way
And
to describe it.
so they get clothes, they get different clothes because they felt a little too skimpy in those. They get arrested again because they didn't pay for
For
them because they don't know
they're
about
building a
money.
record, dude.
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna be full on prisoners by the time they end this movie.
And they go looking for who they think is the owner of herself, her stereotypical Barbie self. So they go to a school. They find a girl, and she like rowdy, just knocks Barbie down really badly. Like, oh, you're the reason why women are set back 50, 60 years because you show.
No, the reason why women are set back is because women have their own mental blocks. Fucking, I'm just like, saying shit like that is why women are behind. You're the problem, lady, the one pushing down other women. You're the reason why women are set back 50 years. No, you're the reason why, because you have this attitude because somebody else is nice and pretty that you can just hate on them or whatever. They think you're some sort of oppressor. No, look somewhere else. The oppressors aren't usually pretty. You know? No.
Hmm. No,
So
it's all
I'm
about
angry at this chick.
scapegoats and putting the liability on someone else when Barbie's literally just existing, like
Yeah,
yeah, like
she just
it's
exists.
just like some women that are pretty naturally or born into wealth or born with these what you say like
Advantages?
privileges or advantages, right? And
Yeah.
everyone wants to talk down to them and say it's your fault that the people at the bottom are at the bottom, and it's like,
No, just work harder, dude. I
yeah,
mean,
or it's not her fault. She was created this way. You know what I mean? Like it's not her
yeah.
fault.
It's literally not her fault. It's not her fault that she was born into she was born pretty.
Yeah, her
So,
created by her maker.
I do think if you're upset by that, then change yourself instead of trying to find an issue with the outside world and say, "Oh, it's not me, it's the outside world." No, you got to change yourself, buddy. You got to
But that
change
takes
yourself.
work. It's easier to
I
just
know.
blame someone than to actually put in the work and
I don't
change
respect
yourself.
those people though. People
I'm
who don't put in the work.
I'm not saying they should be respected, but it is easier to just
Yeah,
blame
that's true.
than to actually do the work. It's easier to knock someone down than bring yourself up.
Yeah.
But during this time, we have Ken, who's like getting his third eye opened. That men kind of run this place, and he's like, you know what? I like this. I like that men and horses. For some reason, horses is like a big deal.
Horses are cool.
They are, but
Have
I
you
didn't know.
seen you see how big a horse is?
No,
It's like
dude,
man's best friend other than a dog. A dog's a
dude,
woman's best friend.
dude, horses like they're majestic. They're beautiful. Like when you see one all like brand new with a mane and taken care of, and they're all buff and shit.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Properly taking care of horses are very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
I've only pet a couple of horses in my day. I have very limited exposure to horses. I want Ken to ride a horse in this movie.
I don't know why he didn't. He was all about horses, and bringing patriarchy. He learned about it. He's like, oh shit, like men run this world. I want to have that same feeling because right now all I feel like is an accessory to a woman. And so he goes back to Barbie Land by boat, spaceship, and all that shit before Barbie does, and he
Yeah.
brings patriarchy to the land of the Barbies, while Barbie still, or stereotypical Barbie, whatever you want to say, is still trying to figure out what's going on here. So she goes to what? Oh no, the people at Mattel find her at this point, right? They
Yeah.
pick her up. They pick her up and take her to Mattel, where they're like, okay, we can fix this. Just get in the box. Get back in your box, and this
Yeah,
will
just get
all
back
be
in the
fixed.
box. I mean, you could choose to live outside the box or inside the box.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I find it really funny when Ken starts convincing the other Kens, "Hey, you have the power actually in Barbie Land." And it's like, okay, how would this work? How would this work with the current infrastructure, the current ideals? You're saying that all the Barbies are going to conform? There has to be some sort of social revolution, right? Because we're literally upholding the social status from matriarchy to patriarchy, and there would be some rough patches in here. They wouldn't be as agreeable. If they were true matriarchs, they would not be as agreeable to give up power in this world.
No, especially listening just to Ken, like a regular Ken,
Yeah.
Beach
Yeah,
Ken.
they have the power. They both believe they have the power. Then we're gonna have some pretty powerful fights, and I want to see an all out war. I want to see bombs explode. I want to see houses explode. I want to see everything explode.
So we have and they make a good argument too, where like some of the women are like happy that they're under the control of men because they don't have to think, and it makes
I
me
mean, it's
think like,
nice not to think.
yeah, I'm not saying that's a good thing, but I'm not saying some women don't actually not they want that. I imagine like,
Right.
yeah, it's not as oddball as it seems to think, oh, some women just don't want to think or not worry. They just want the man to take care of them and do the thinking for them, as male machismo as that sounds coming from me, I feel like that's a fair argument.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. It's it's how well your brain can function, pretty much.
And then
If
it's
you
the whole
don't have a good
alpha.
functioning brain, then yeah, you thinking is pointless because you're gonna make the wrong thinky thonky decisions.
During this time while Ken is making all the whole patriarch, what's her name, Barbie escapes from not getting in the box. Mattel is after her, and her owner that's playing with her picks her up and saves her, and it ends up being the mom of that girl that talked her down. She's the one that's been playing with the Barbie, reminiscing on how she would play with her daughter and playing with the Barbie and making it have these intrusive thoughts of like cellulite and bad breath
Hmm.
and crying and depressed
Yeah,
Barbie.
she's the Barbie is now sad. I found it really funny when she was lying on the lawn or whatever. She's just in her clothes, her baggy clothes. I'm like, oh, you're so sad. I hope you don't eat a lot and get fat though. Barbie, you gotta maintain your figure. This is my
So
opinion.
they head back. They find the plan. Oh, we'll just head back to Barbie Land, and I don't know what was their plan. I'm not sure. They were just gonna go back to Barbie Land and fix stuff over there. And again, it's just so easy to go back and forth from Barbie Land to the real world. They
Yeah,
make
what
it like,
there's no gate or something?
I thought it
I
would be harder.
I thought so too. I find that Barbie's plan to just convince everybody, let's go back to the way things were. And no, because there's some people who like how it was, or And you also have the men. I don't know if they're physically stronger than the women in this world. It doesn't. I'm not sure. Do you think they would be?
They look it, at least they look it. I don't know if like the way physics are in this whole world. You don't know who's stronger, but they certainly do look more able-bodied than the women.
I do think Barbie should be single. She wants to be a strong, independent woman, and nobody else does. So she's gonna stay single now.
But then it's funny because Ken, and I don't know if it's all the Kens, but at least these two Kens, the Chinese one and then the white one, the beach Ken, want
Yeah,
Barbie so bad because they're nothing without Barbie. Like in reality and as a doll, I think like Ken is nothing without a Barbie.
yeah. I mean, I found that to be sweet. You
Yeah.
know, I also really liked the scene at the when they were at the fire pit and on the beach, and they were just talking smack about everyone, talking about smack about each other.
Hmm.
It's like kind of like a weird game of telephone. And I'm like, what is happening here? We're gonna insert some toxicity into this perfect Barbie world. Oh no,
Masculine
that
toxicity.
is it masculine toxicity? It seemed very feminine. I
It
mean,
it seemed feminine at roots, but then it like became masculine because the men, and that was their whole plan. Like, oh, they used the real woman's speech to bring the Barbies back to their real selves about, oh, we're powerful women, and then they tricked the men to go against each other by making them have their own masculinity against each other or something, you know?
yeah, it's weird. Everyone's just getting so insecure in this movie. Everybody progressive. Everyone devolves in this movie. It goes
Yeah.
from perfect serenity, everyone's perfect and amazing, to this one selfish woman who doesn't even know what she's doing. She doesn't know that she's interfering with the whole Barbie culture. She's playing with this Barbie doll, and this Barbie doll is getting weird thoughts, and then this Barbie doll is trying to figure out what the heck's going on. Takes Ken with, and then Ken is like, "Oh, I got these ideas from the real world," and they bring those ideas from the real world back, and then which is toxic. We got toxic ideas come in, and then they do toxic stuff to each other, and the world becomes more devolved and more toxic. And I'm like, oh geez. I mean, I know this is what makes a good movie is when you take some characters and then you destroy them, or like you take a perfect world and then you destroy it. That's always a fascinating movie concept. But I'm like, oh man, how is this going to be fixed?
Well, what do? They the men start going at war with each other where they are just fighting with anything they have. Tennis balls, frisbees, uh I don't know,
Wow,
golf
what weapons?
clubs. Yeah.
Wow. Phew. I mean, the golf club makes sense, but the I'm gonna throw a frisbee at you. You get bonked in the head. Ow, that hurt. And you
Yeah,
grab the frisbee off the ground and you throw it at the guy across from you.
and then they're all like really overselling this, like they're being hurt really badly when they get like play stabbed in between the armpit or whatever by a
I
something
thought that
like.
was fun. I was
Yeah,
like, oh, I wonder if they're gonna stab each other. No,
it was a
no, they're
play
not.
pretend fight. It was cool. And then
It was
is it
cool.
is this where they had that weird dance number too, or it might have been a little before with the Kens? And
I thought it was a little bit. Well,
it was around that same time when they
it
had
was
like the.
around there where
Yeah.
they get together. We're all Kens here, y'all. We're all Kens. We don't have to fight anymore. And then the Kens be like, "Yeah, we don't have to fight anymore. Yeah, let's go." And then they dance and they break dance. I'm like, but what about Barbie? What
This is a
about
whole movie
Barbie?
about Barbie, and I don't know. It was cool, a little sequence, and like this whole movie, like even up to that, it's all like a fever dream to me because, like, there's no, like it says real world, right? Whenever you go into the real world, but nothing seems real about any of these worlds. They're just all playing in their own little sandbox of rules, and
Yeah.
it's funny, and it's also like all like a dream. Like, okay, like I guess you just kind of gotta go into it and go by the rules of this movie.
Yeah. I find it one funny. The world building is actually the way it's done. There's At the very beginning, I forgot to mention this. There's a sense of humor to the whole Barbie world, and then also the same, like a different type of humor, but it's still funny to me. Is when the Barbie world just devolves, and then I guess the least funny thing is them apologizing to each other. I wish they just kept on being in a perpetual battle for centuries, doing doing social political moves, trying to gain power from everyone else.
Like the real world,
Yeah, I want an example of the real world.
this never-ending power struggle of dominance over one and the other, and
Yeah,
no, yeah, but it was well done here. And then what do? They come to sort of like agreement where the Barbies are, kind of still in charge, but they want to give the men more. Uh,
autonomy.
yeah, they want to like respect them more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess yeah. The Kens were very much focused on pleasing the Barbies, and then what's the Barbies' point of life then? If they're
Well,
being offered just to have fun, girls just want to have fun. Is that what the point of life is for Barbies?
they're in that world. The Barbie is the center of it. Without the Barbie, there's nothing else. There's no Ken. There's no Skipper. There's no everything else. It's all centered
Yeah.
around Barbie is the beginning. And then I like that part whenever the stereotypical Barbie was asking, well, what about my ending? And here comes like the ghost of the creator of Barbie, right? What's her name?
Yeah.
Ruth Handler. And she
Yes.
tells her, and I liked how this sounded, like Barbie was never meant to have an ending. Like it was meant to be like forever, a story that could go on forever. And I thought that was
I
pretty
do like
nice.
that. I thought
Yeah.
that was nice too. I was like, huh. I enjoy that this quaint little lady created Barbie because I remember when I was growing up, I was always told that Barbie was oppressive to women. And I'm like, how could a doll be oppressive to women? And then their counter argument would be like, oh, well, it establishes unrealistic body expectations. And I'm like, then work out more. Like, seriously, that's the answer, is to constantly work out. Make sure that's your life's purpose. Find a job where working out is part of the job or something like that. I'm just I don't know. Before watching this movie, I had like a weird feeling about Barbie. I was like, yeah, I don't particularly care about it. I never played with Barbie because I didn't like the feminine thing.
Hmm.
And like I always saw people who play with Barbies were always the caretaker type, and I was like, no, I'm an artist. I'm not a mother. So so that was my experience. But this movie actually expanded my worldview on Barbie. I was thinking, oh wow, this is actually quite feminist. This is incredibly feminist. It's not trying to oppress just women in the world. Is
Yeah, even me being a man, I didn't like. I've seen more feminine. Like, I feel like the scene in Avengers Endgame when all the women were together at that one point, like that made me
yeah.
cringe. Like with feminism, I was like,
Yeah,
that wasn't necessary.
that's not
Uh,
feminism. That's inserting a chick in it.
yeah,
That's
that
different.
made me cringe. But this,
Yeah.
like, even though it was all about women, all about whatever agenda, I liked it. It did it in a way where it like almost made fun of it itself, of how,
Oh yeah.
women might do it. I don't know. It did it well.
Yeah, it did I do think it achieved the messaging well. However, here's my least favorite part though.
Hmm.
So
What's your least favorite
Barbie,
part?
she wanted to go back to the way things were in Barbie Land, where there's a matriarchy. But at the end of the movie, she decides to go to the real world where it's a patriarchy, the way that she didn't like it in when Ken was in charge in Barbie Land and she was trying to get it all changed. Why go to a patriarchy? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't really get the ending either, where she decides to go to the real world and then she
She's going to get
visits
a
a
gynecologist. She's going to the OBGYN.
yeah, so it's insinuating that she has like human parts now. Uh
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't really get that. What the that ending was. I'm confused about that too. That not that it brought me out of it. It was just like
Oh,
okay,
that really brought me out of it.
did
I
it?
started hating the movie at that point. Like everything else about the movie is like handy dandy, but the ending is the most unrealistic part, especially since you set up that Barbie wants to be in a matriarchy instead of a patriarchy. And then she goes to a patriarchy willingly. Oh, I want my story to end. I want to be able to die. I'm like, oh man, you're only putting this in because humans exist and humans want to feel not don't want to feel bad about being human instead of just seeing a Barbie out fulfill her life or whatever. I mean, I guess it has to happen. There has to be a change to occur within the story. But personally, I don't like that change, man. Just have it take place in Barbie Land.
Well,
And
no,
then
and then it gets too like you said like weird cuz you got to figure like, well, what if she gets sick in the real world cuz there weren't any diseases in Barbie Land?
yeah,
What
she
if
has no immune system.
she's gonna feel hunger? She's gonna feel period cramps. Like that's gotta be
Sh
terrible
she's
for her.
gonna feel the full range of human emotions, and
Yeah.
she's the first time she experiences hunger. Oh no, my tummy hurts. What? What? How? How can I fix myself? And then she goes to the hospital or something, and then they just be like, "Oh, well, you're malnourished. Here, have something to eat." And then she experiences eating at the first time. She probably feels a sense of joy eating so much. Then she eats a ton. She eats all the much, and she eats too much, and then she keeps on eating, and then it keeps on eating, and then eventually it will turn into a tub of lard Barbie.
Or even like pooping. Like how do you explain that to a Barbie? Like what is coming out of me? Like like it's like a child, like or a baby, like
She
how do
needs
you
some. She needs a Ken to. No, Ken doesn't notice either.
know?
Well, let's just have somebody else come with her so they can experience things together.
Yeah, it's very the ending is very okay. I don't get it. It's not very satisfying. And yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if it was meant to just shock you out of the world of that they built that was bright
I
pink
don't
and
know
everything.
either. I don't know either.
Uh
Overall, what would you give this movie?
uh I'd say a 6
A
just cuz
six?
it was pretty good. I enjoyed watching it. I like Margot Robbie as Barbie. She did it really well. I like what's his name is Ken, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
They were both like great for the roles. They played them so well. Uh but yeah, it was really strange like certain parts of it. Not that it wasn't bad. I wouldn't rewatch it, but it wasn't a bad thing to watch. I wasn't like, "Oh, this is woke propaganda liberal bullshit," like it was a fun watch.
Okay, yeah. I think I mostly agree with you. I give it like a 6.5 because it's not as bad as a 6 movie. There were some points where I was like, okay, this is to further develop the message of the movie. Even if some of the interactions with the outside world is very inaccurate, it wouldn't happen so fast. I just think it's needed. Those dramatic moments are needed because it's a movie and it's trying to say a message. But the entire movie's message and also character motivation of Barbie is destroyed at the end. So,
But
like,
then and then even thinking though, like, yeah, if someone handed you, oh, make a movie about Barbie, like that's a pretty daunting task too, because
Yeah.
Barbie's like anything and everything. So where do you even start? So I think with that property, they did it well,
Yeah.
to make a movie out of it, because that's kind of a big deal. Like, oh shit, how do you make a Barbie movie and not fail? And I
Yeah, how
mean,
do you
it
make a
succeeded.
Barbie movie that isn't like a child's movie? There's a ton
Yeah.
of Barbie movies, just
Oh
not
yeah.
for an adult. And it's not
It-
dealing with adult themes, so I get it.
yeah, it did it, and it really succeeded. Like I don't know, it with that Barbie Oppenheimer bullshit, it really fucking blew everything away.
Well, I keep hearing about Barbie Oppenheimer. Is that watching Barbie then watching Oppenheimer?
Yeah, it was like
Oh,
a
so
double
Barbie's
feature.
presumably in the real world at that point, and
I
then
don't.
she gets
Yeah,
nuked.
I don't think it goes like that. Although I think they are
Oh,
making a B movie like that is
like
in
like
production, like a
a
parody.
oh, I thought you meant B movie as the Jerry Seinfeld B movie.
Oh no,
A sequel. And I was like, wait, they're making a sequel to that? What? Oh, because of all the memes? Oh, sorry, the beams?
I'm surprised they haven't made at least like a made for Netflix type movie or TV
They've
show of
made a
that.
game. They've
Oh
made a
yeah.
I had that
Oh
game, it's not that fun. And when the B movie first came out and I got the B movie game, it was not good. I don't remember playing much of it. I only remember driving in a car as a bee with wings.
yeah. You like jazz? That should
I
just be
do
played over and over
actually.
again.
That
But
line would
yeah,
work on me.
oh it would. And
Yeah.
then it would make you submissive to the patriarchy. You like jazz?
Not that submissive. Like, if anyone talks to me about art, I'd be like intrigued, right? But if as soon as it switches to gender studies class, I'm out.
Yeah, yeah. No,
So
that's an easy buzzkill
yeah.
for the bees. But that was Barbie, and I got a little game here for you to
Ooh.
play. I call it Board Game Barbie. And
Board game Barbie?
yeah, and so the concept of this came to me when I saw that after the success of Barbie, they wanted to make like a movie out of Monopoly, and
Yeah.
so I was like, okay, I don't know how that's gonna be, because they have made board game movies. They have like Clue. I don't know if you know, they did Battleship, which it failed really badly.
Wait, they did a battleship movie? I knew they did a Clue movie.
Yeah, they did a
I'm actually
Battleship
gonna read it
movie
too.
with Liam Neeson and Rihanna.
What a weird pairing. What? I
Yeah,
didn't know Rihanna was an actress.
yeah. She's been yeah, she was in that for some reason, right? I remember just it coming out and wanting to go see it with my cousin. I was like, we got to go see Battleship, but we never saw it. But then I heard it like sucked really bad.
Sure.
But so I asked AI. This is another AI game. Here's the first prompt, and you'll see. I asked, can you make the board game Monopoly into a Barbie doll? And this is what it came up with, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically the theme. I asked it to make a board game into a Barbie doll, and then it did it. So I'm going to cycle through the pictures, and you tell me what board game this Barbie doll represents.
Okay.
Okay, there's the theme, Board Game Barbie.
That's
Here's
fun.
the next one.
What the fuck game is this? Is that a cruise ship?
I think we were just talking about it.
This game? Battleship.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Battleship. When I put in make big Battleship into a Barbie
She's
doll,
so big. Why is she so big? Is she
dude,
one of the battleships we have to destroy?
dude, I don't know. I was just thought it looked pretty cool. I was like, what the
He's the
fuck?
final boss, actually. She has instead of those 5 dots or how many dots in order to sink a ship, she's got 16 dots. You
Oh
have to hit her
yeah.
16 times in order for her to go down.
All pressure points of the female body on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very I don't know, and I don't know why she's holding another ship. I don't know. It was a cool little drawing that I thought it generated. of Battleship.
This is really
Uh,
funny.
yeah. Let's see. Next one.
Uh, what's this fucking mouse? It's Mousetrap.
Yeah. Have you ever played the game Mousetrap?
I think so. Is it the one with the cage? It's been a really long time
Dude,
since I
I
played it.
remember I remember having that game and never knowing how to play it. I just built the thing and then like did the machine Mousetrap. I never knew how to actually play the game.
You know, I don't think I've ever played that game before.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
a
like
weird game.
I've had it out. I've had like the cage there. I know what it looks like. Never actually played it. Oh man. There's just
That's
also this other board game that I play that was based off of a movie where they just magically appear in space in their houses in space. I forget what that game's called. Do you know what the game I'm talking about?
Is it like Jumanji?
I hmm,
Because I remember there was a movie
maybe.
like Jumanji but in space called Zathura.
What is it called? Sathura?
Zathura. The movie had Kirsten Dunst. No, not Kirsten Dunst. Kristen Stewart from Twilight.
Hmm. Thezura movie. Wow, I'm somehow not able to pull it up. What the heck? Maybe I'm Thura. How do you pronounce it?
Zathura. Z A T.
Z
Yeah, Zathura. It's a good movie, actually. It's a lot like Jumanji, but in space.
I don't think I'm. That's the movie I'm talking about. Hmm. Board game. I don't. I. It's been like so long since I've played that game. I just don't remember what it's called. If anyone in the comments knows which game I'm talking about,
Yeah, I have no clue.
please
Hopefully,
let me
someone
know.
can figure the mystery.
Yeah.
Next game.
Operation.
Yes,
I played
I
a
was
lot of board
never.
games.
Yeah, no, that's good because these are. I mean, these are pretty easy if you've played a lot of board games, but unique. But yeah, Operation that one's pretty easy if you have played it.
Yeah.
Uh, this one
This is it the Gingerbread Land board game? Is that the
close,
name of it?
close.
Oh
You're
no, it's Candyland. Sorry.
there. You go. I mean, this looks pretty cool too. The
It
image it
does.
generated.
She's
Yeah,
got like a candy dress. The witch from Hansel and Gretel is going to eat her because of how much sweets she got on her.
well, she just wanted to eat kids, right? She didn't
Yeah.
even. Candy was like building materials to her.
Oh man, the version I think I've read not read. I've had the story told to me, and the kid version that I was told is that they would feed them candy and then boil them,
Yeah,
try to boil them,
to fatten
but
them
it's
up and then
never
boil them.
successful.
No, the witch ends up getting cooked, and I don't know why that's terrible because the kids are the ones that ate her house. I don't know. It's all their
Why
fault.
Yeah, why tell me, a child, about this horrifying story of children about to get eaten by a witch?
That's to protect you from ever eating candy. I don't know. I don't know what the
Oh,
morals are there.
I don't
Let's
know
see
either.
here. Next one.
This one, Scrabble.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Scrabble. Yeah, this one kind of tripped me out the way AI kind of generated
her
the
face. So,
yeah.
oh my goodness,
Yeah, this one kind of
what
tripped me
room
out.
is she in? She's in Scrabble room. What's
Yeah,
on the walls? I mean, what words are being formed? Are there
they're
any
not
words?
even nah, they're just random letters, right?
This is insanity. This is if this woman is insane. This is a really good way to capture an insane Barbie. Like, why do you have all those letters up on that wall like that and not making any words?
It just tripped me out how like like Candyland, this one looks gorgeous, like really
Yeah,
beautiful. And
it
then
looks
this
good.
one and this one looks all like it really got confused with the prompt, like pixelated and I don't know, like it really had a lot of trouble generating this or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fun
Uh
though.
next one.
Um. Oh, jeez. What?
This one might be a little harder. I remember never playing this board game, but I remember always seeing commercials for it.
Risk.
Yeah, the game of
Okay.
Risk. I
It's
never
gonna be
played
like.
it.
I've never played it either.
I remember always seeing commercials for it. The game of Risk. Take over this and that. Against your
I'm not good at
enemies.
risk at all. I mean, I would imagine I'm not good at risk at all. I'm not very good at like resource management. It's not something that I excel at.
I feel like it'd be boring to play. Like even Monopoly nowadays, it takes a good chunk of time to play, like
I don't
three,
like
4, 5
Monopoly.
hours.
I don't think I've played maybe a couple games of Monopoly. I've played a lot of Monopoly Junior, which
Yeah,
takes considerably less time. Takes about
very
30
much.
minutes. Yeah.
Yes, very much less time. But yeah, Risk is one of those board games I think that takes weeks to like win or lose. Like I wouldn't want to do that shit.
I mean, if you're really into power play, then yes, this is the game for you. If you eventually want to become a president or a dictatorship, Risk is the game for you.
Yeah, that is how the commercials went, right?
Yeah.
The next one,
Oh, my first thought was Life.
no.
What the fuck game is this?
There,
Clue?
yeah, Clue. You're right. I was
Clue.
about to say there's a movie based on it, but yeah, this is what
Oh,
it
I've
gave me.
never played the board game Clue. I've seen the board game layouts, but I've never been like, oh, I'm interested in playing Clue.
I
I always
used
thought
to
it
play
looked
Clue.
boring.
I used to play Clue a lot as a kid. It was
How
kind of
was it?
fun. It was fun. Uh, I feel like you can only play it so many times though before you kind of know like all the endings. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not an
Is it
infinite
single
type of game.
player?
No, you play with like I think at least 3 or 4 people.
Oh, I
I'd
never
play it.
had 3 or 4 people to play with me, so that's why I never played it.
I think
That
I'd
makes
play with
sense.
like my sister and her friends or something.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
That's fun.
Next one. Next one.
Oh, this is Life.
Yeah, this is what it
Okay.
gave me with the game of life. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I've played, you know what? My first time I played Life, I was 8 years old. And I remember because it says 9+ on the box. I was like, haha, I'm subverting the rules. Fuck you, box. I'm 8 years old and I'm playing this game. I never really liked the option of, oh, I'm going to have some babies. I never liked that. I didn't want to have any children. But I would
Yeah,
always deals cards and it's like, oh, you get a child now. I'm like, dang it. If only there was some way to prevent children from being born. If only there was some way to prevent the conception, but life has not put this in the game. So
no, it doesn't know about Roe versus Wade and all the other rights of women
doesn't know what
in
a
the game
condom
of life.
is. So condoms don't exist in the game of life.
I don't think coat hangers do either.
Yeah.
Last one here. You guess this one.
What the fucking is that game? What the fuck is that game called? It's where you have all the it's where you
You
have all
know,
the people
you
in,
know it, right? But you
yeah, I
don't.
know I don't remember what it's called. But
Yeah,
I guess who?
yeah. There you go. Guess who?
Okay.
This is what it gave me. It's pretty cool image. Yeah,
I've played Guess Who maybe like once.
yeah. Same
I've
here.
seen it a lot.
I think like a kid brought it to school and I played it once. I never owned it,
Hmm.
but
Oh,
yeah.
you know what? Speaking of board games, I think sometime I was like maybe like a quarter of my 7th grade year, we could eat lunch in my math room class and we played board games. I think one of the games that I played was Dominion. Do you remember that game?
No,
No? Let me look it up. I forget what it's called. Dominion. Dominion board game.
Dominion, like a from Despicable Me, Dominions.
Uh, what does it look like? Open. I need an open box, not just an outside box, so I can take a gander at it. Well, I guess I saw Dominion, but come on, board game. What? How would I describe map? Map. Yeah. I played Dominion. I remember those tiles. I don't remember how to play it at all, but I
Huh.
played a lot of board games in that period of time.
No, I've never played Dominion. I'd have to, like, I remember playing games like, have you ever heard of Crossfire?
Crossfire? No, I haven't.
Yeah, it was like this weird game where you shot like metal marbles at each other and tried to knock the opponent's pieces into the other thing. And they had this commercial that was always like, "Crossfire, you get caught up in the crossfire." And it's just
That's a
this.
fun. That's fun.
It's one of those like jingles that are stuck in my head for the rest of my life, from seeing it and hearing it so much.
Yeah, I think there was which board game? Um, Mancula. You know that?
No.
So you have a let's say have a 2 by 6 inch board, and there's these 12 divots in the middle, and you put marbles in them. You take the
Oh,
marbles, and then you have there's like you can collect all the marbles on one side of the other, and you move them. Boot doo boot doo boot, and your the goal is to collect as many of the marbles in your thing as possible. But actually,
yeah.
I learned of that game because of Club Penguin. Never played it in real life. I've only played it in Club Penguin.
I was never into Club Penguin, but I see all the things about it, and I wish I had been a part of that. It looked like a simpler time.
It was fun. I mean, I joined 2008. Like, it was like a couple years old at that point, and so it was like, ooh, there's a bunch of OG people here, and I'm a new boy. And then I stopped playing it for a while, and then Disney shut it down. So there's actually a website now where you can play Club Penguin for free, get all the membership benefits for free instead of having to pay money for it. And it's you can get all the cool clothes or whatever. And because Disney shut it down, and a bunch of these people just have a website for it now, you can like swear on the platform. I mean, you can't give any money, or else Disney will just sue or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But it's interesting. I played a little bit of that in college, and then I stopped because I was like, this is getting kind of boring.
And that's all most board games are. That's why they're called board games. But
Oh, I get it.
I know no one's gonna be bored going to your links. I
Yeah, that's
know. Where
true.
where can the guys find you, their perfect Barbie girl in your mint salad world?
You can go to youtube.com/ASU Presents. I do daily movie reviews, premiering every day, 7 p.m. ET. And if you want to request a movie review, I do that for $20 dinos. Patreon.com/ASU Presents. If you want to help support the daily grind of all them daily movie reviews, you can go to my link tree, linktr.ee. Look, it's right here. Take a little
Hmm.
gander at it. And yep, that's how you can help me support me. That's how you do it.
Hell yeah. And you could listen to my podcast. It's daily. That's all funny. Find anywhere podcasts are available. You can listen to my new podcast, it's just about wrestling with my buddy Gabe, called That's All Kayfabe. That drops every Mondays. And yeah, you could check out either of our Patreons for older episodes of Hits and Areolas, or just for bonus and exclusives. And catch us live on Tuesdays doing this. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for watching, listening, and then thank you, Mid Salad, for being the Barbie girl in the Barbie world.
Woo! Barbie, Barbie, woo wee, woo wee.